Hey, Commander.
What's up, son?
I think I'm going on a trip soon, and,
What is it?
I don't know when I'm going to come back.
Oh, Godin.
I'm going to miss it here.
Well, I'm sure we'll find a way to teleport you back here once a week or so.
But will it really be the same, sir? Will it be the same?
I suppose it may not. This is not Gnarly Cougar. This is not Gnarly Cougar one bit. Ladies, gentlemen, and monsters of all ages, I've been stewing over some thoughts from my semi-spoiler-free perspective, and as such, we ask you all another little bit of a big Monster Hunter question. Based on what you've seen so far of Rise, its monsters, and its mechanics, if you absolutely had to, if someone kidnapped your favorite pair of shoes and threatened to throw them into a blender, but not like a household blender, more like an industrial blender that can blend shoes if it was that dire of a situation, which game do you think will be more likely to be better in the long run? World/Iceborne or Rise? Which will be, in essence to you, the better game? And you answered. 21,000 of you answered, and you gave us thoughts on this very important and potentially unfair question. Sure, it's early to call this. It's incredibly early, but we are starting to get a better idea of the core gameplay of Rise, and I don't know about you, but I definitely have some feelings about it compared to the moment-to-moment hunt gameplay in World and Iceborne. But I'll leave my personal feelings until a little bit later on in this video, especially considering me avoiding most monster-based information on the game so far. You guys, however, tend to be a bit more informed on the matter and gave well-explained descriptions of why Rise might just be better than World when all is said and done, and it completely lines up with my thoughts on it too. A good example being, I'm pretty sure that this will be the best Monster Hunter game ever, from the look to the fantastic new monsters to the new mechanics. It just looks absolutely breathtaking in almost every way. But I thought the same for World and GU, honestly, which I adore too. Yeah, see, what I get from this is about what I thought I'd get. Really, Monster Hunter as a series is really good at taking things that were received positively in a game and running with it into the next game in the series while continuing to innovate significantly. In a way, this makes it feel like every Monster Hunter game has a good chance of being the best Monster Hunter game that has happened so far. But Rise, especially with its perfect marriage of the popular New World style hunting and the beloved old style feel, may very well wind up being the best Monster Hunter game that we've seen up to this point. But you know what? Maybe I'm an optimist, but maybe most of you are too. In fact, 51% of you think that Rise has a solid chance at being better than World/Iceborne, and 12% of you are already at this point 100% sure that it will be better. A good example from this crowd is a comment like, "I've had a better time with Rise's demo than most hunts." And this might hurt some people, but I'm personally sort of in this camp, me. Just from a personal level, one thing I have always really adored in video games is in-depth movement systems, and the movement in Monster Hunter Rise, the use of vertical space in combat and out of combat, just makes me enjoy existing in the world that much more. I love palicos, don't get me wrong, but palamutes just hit different for me. I'm totally giddy about the opportunity to have my own monster hunting puppy, and even though I am entirely spoiler-free about the majority of the monster roster, I am still fully aware that the variety between the monsters is crazy. Very few overlapping overall skeletons, that type of fun stuff that usually leads to really fun and unique situations. And I love the crazy monsters. God, I love the crazy monsters.
I love crazy.
But back on track for now, that makes 63% of you in total who currently think that Rise has at least a pretty decent chance of being better than World or Iceborne. 21% of you that think Rise will come close but not be better, which is fair enough if you particularly like what World has done, or particularly dislike wyvern riding or silk binds or the less realistic but more quirky nature. But personally, I'm a fan of all of those things. 4% of you are 100% sure that Rise will be worse than World and Iceborne, and while I do respect your opinion, I wish more of you would have said why. I don't want to make fun of you unless you say something really funny. I just want to understand the reasoning so I can better represent your view on this discussion too. 12% of you now should be awaiting some sort of blended shoe juice in the mail in the near future. I'm sorry that this happened, but sometimes there are casualties. This crowd is very reasonable. We did say that you had to choose, but I do understand that the vast majority of people probably would lie directly down in the middle of this until they actually get to have their hands on it. However, it's quite interesting to see where you
lean when pressed like a tree in the wind of your own opinion. All in all, this was a vessel to give you guys a voice on something that I wanted to talk about from a personal perspective. Even from my limited view of everything that we've been told about Monster Hunter Rise, I think it is shaping up to be my favorite Monster Hunter game so far. I really love Monster Hunter World, but after going back to Generations Ultimate and now even further back to 3U, I really missed some of the quirky, vibrant nature and crazy monster variety that those games have in comparison to World and Iceborne. And honestly, on that side of things, Rise just seems to be the perfect mix of everything. Just ecologically speaking, even, not even talking about the new mechanics. Some people are meh on wyvern riding, but I'm pretty all in. I love the idea of starting combat with your main target by bringing in a secondary monster and dishing out loads of damage by learning the best combos with the monster that you're riding, because there is also the simple joy of getting to feel like you have a bond with this monster. Even though it may be fleeting, it's like you are just that little bit closer to it, and if you really like that monster, that can be really fun, and that moment can be fantastic. Sure, you can just bash a monster into a wall 4 times, and sometimes that's the best thing to do, but there are definitely more fun ways to use the mechanic, and I am all in on those. Another comment from you guys, I think it has a solid chance of being better, seeing as it has the charm and overall feel of the old games combined with the innovations and advancements that we see in World. World was my first Monster Hunter experience, and then I played Gen U when it came out. They both have their strengths and weaknesses, but I think if Capcom can successfully merge them, it has a pretty decent chance of being better than either experience. I'm in love with what Rise is shaping up to be, personally, and while I cannot remotely say objectively what game will be better, nor can anyone truly objectively say that any Monster Hunter game is better than another Monster Hunter game, my subjective opinion is that I will love Rise for what it is more than any Monster Hunter game that I have played up to this point. Maybe it's because of my frame of mind going into it at this point, but the way that the general gameplay feels, the focus on the movement, the faster pace of the combat, the super interesting exploration, and honestly, just the feeling I get being in the game, on the map, standing in front of a monster. It feels great to me. I can't even quite put my finger on it. I can't point at one specific thing and say it's that. But I have a strong feeling that this will be my personal favorite entry in the Monster Hunter series to this date. Let's see if it lives up to that. Alright everyone, I've been Cotton Dinosaur, and this has been a bit of a group discussion about if, with the information we currently have, Monster Hunter Rise will be better than Monster Hunter World and Iceborne, or not. A lot of you were more than willing to share your opinion, but only time will tell if those opinions will hold, mine included. Do you agree with the majority of the people who responded to this poll? What do you think about the idea that every Monster Hunter game from this point forward is likely to become the best Monster Hunter game through sheer advancements in technology and mechanics? Like if you liked the video, subscribe and hit the notification bell for more, and most importantly, ladies and gentlemen, until next time, stay sweet.
Josh, Cotton, and Hollow with the videos, dropping the humor like a hammer on your tippy toes, bringing entertainment on a daily arrangement to take our insanity and turn it into entertainment. Yes, I said entertainment twice, to reiterate that it is nice to look into your faces on a mostly daily basis when you let us in your homes to make the whole world a stage. Goodbye.